everyone? Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the premiere episode of Creature Commandos, Episode 1, The Collywobbles, whatever that means. I didn't look it up. I don't think it matters. I think James Gunn just wanted a fun name. I'm sure it has something to do with the premise of the first episode, mainly because the second episode does have more of a meaning to a name. Before I get into spoilers, I want to talk about the vibes of the show and overall how I enjoyed it. I think it's a really fun show. Definitely very James Gunn, where there's a lot of weird stuff, a lot of funny bits. At least if you're a fan of that type of humor, you can see there's a little bit of heart that we're gonna start uncovering throughout the episodes. But it's silly. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I think the actors voicing the characters do not take themselves too seriously either. I think they're having a good time, which I you can just kind of feel throughout the performances. I really like the animation. Very cool stylized characters. All the character models look fun. We've seen a little bit of fight, a little bit of their powers, some violence, and some bigger part of the DC universe at large here. Um, I think one thing that this show wants to make clear is that it is a full on part of this DC universe. It connects other pieces, including Peacemaker and the previous Suicide Squad film that James Gunn did, and maybe even also some other parts that we may still yet to explore. So, yeah, I had a good time. The show itself, it's a little bit of a slow burn when it comes to the story itself. There's definitely a lot of there's a lot of exploration of the characters as these events are kind of happening. So, interesting to see where we're gonna go from here. 23 minutes each of the episodes, so it looks like it's gonna be pretty standard. I think if you were a fan of Harley Quinn, the animated, or Kite Man, hell yeah. I think you're gonna enjoy this. They both have similar vibes when it comes to the humor and how reverent they are to the characters. Because although it's not the most serious thing, you can tell that they appreciate the characters that we are talking about and exploring in this world. So, but let's get into the premise of the show. Some of the things that happened in episode 1. I'll do a separate video for episode 2. I don't know. These should be coming out weekly, so I should have enough time to cover everything on a weekly basis. We'll see. I didn't see anything too big as far as Easter eggs, other than we got to look at Starfire in the this DC universe, this version of it. We saw Superman. Just based on a lot of things, there's a Wonder Woman out there. So yeah, I don't know exactly how this all fits in. Everything that we saw was through a vision from Cersei, but the inclusion of Cersei as the villain, which I should have started there. Cersei is the main villain of this first few episodes, at least, and that's very interesting. So Cersei is a Wonder Woman villain mostly. She has magical powers, very powerful enemy. So sending out this, kind of like task force M, they're called. It's very interesting because none of them have what I would call, they're not very powerful. At least we haven't really explored their powers. We have the bride, Nina, GI robot. We have Weasel, of course. Everybody led by Frank Grillo's character of Captain Flag, Rick Flag's dad, and then we also have Doctor Phosphorus. So that's a weird, interesting choice for a team, but they all work. Alan Tudyk does a great job with the voice of Phosphorus. I think probably one of the standout performances. Sean Gunn is voicing GI Robot and Weasel, reprising his role of Weasel from the Suicide Squad film, which we have confirmed is the same Weasel, like from the end of the film, from that end credit scene where he was just running around. And then of course Viola Davis coming back as Amanda Waller, the Wall. Like, even though we don't see much of that character for the first 2 episodes, definitely really cool to see that you can just get Viola Davis to come back and reprise that role. One of the most constant things I think that DC has been Viola Davis's character. So, all right, we meet the Sons of the Mascara, who are working for Cersei, just a bunch of dudes that I don't know. They want to get rewarded in some form or fashion by Cersei, whether it's magic, power, or just them taking, them being taken to an island full of women. Uh, Everything, like I said, we go through some of the things that just kind of establish the canon of the show, including Peacemaker as well. That's also in there, so it's really fun. Peacemaker doesn't show up himself, just like parts of it. They address some of the things that happen during the Peacemaker show, like Amanda Waller being kind of brought out into the light. That's the reason that she can't do that. She can't have a task force with people, regular people or humans. Um, so the mission is that the creature commandos are gonna go to this made up country to protect a princess from this country because Cersei wants to take over because of oil and control and whatever, regular political reasons, and they're there to protect her, and that's what they get sent out. But obviously, everybody working against their will, things are gonna ensue, right? First of all, we see that the bride has been to this country before, so she actually leaves the castle to go look for some stuff on her own. I think she's probably has the most interesting story in the first couple of episodes. We also see that Dr. Phosphorus tries to escape, has a really cool fight with Flag and all throughout the castle. And then we kind of get to see a little bit of the history of the bride in this country and how she kind of came to be created. So I forget the name of the country. I didn't write it down. Palokia or something like that. But it's supposed to. It's kind of like some kind of Eastern European kind of country. Uh, and yeah, it's she was created there to be the bride for Frankenstein's monster, whose name is Eric, which is really interesting. And we get to see, Dr. Frankenstein, and we get to see the monster at the end of this first episode as the bride goes back into where she was created, which we assume is Dr. Frankenstein's old house. Uh, he's given Frankenstein's monster is given a call that she's there. So David Harbour plays the role of Frankenstein's monster really well. I really like his approach to this kind of whiny monster that just thinks that the bride belongs to her. So that'll be really interesting to explore. But yeah, I had a good time with the first episode. Highly encourage you, if you are a fan of DC Comics, check it out, because I think we're gonna see a lot more like of these like super deep canon characters. I think GI Robot is somebody that is gonna go ballistic, but I also feel like he might be the one to eventually bite the dust. But yeah, he's really cool. Like a robot that is programmed to just kill Nazis. Like, that's a one-minded track, but it's a fun way to follow the story. So yeah, enjoy the show. Check it out. If you have seen the show, let me know what you thought about this episode down in the comments. Stay tuned. We'll have another video for episode 2 later on. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.